Do y'all remember in that interview with Oprah and like Chris Rock when he did Good Hair and he was like, is that your real hair? And she was like, it's my real hair, honey. Touch my hair.
A little extra piece right here, though.
I do not.
If you never actually care about the people who struggle to love their hair, but you're like wanting everyone to run the same race, like all of it always feels like a rat race where we're just trying to keep up with being considered like acceptable. We do all these things, use all these products, use all these things just to feel like our hair like is looking good, because you just show one person as like the standard of beauty and you know everybody's gonna be chasing towards that.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Maya's world. Okay, you all, how are we doing? I'm doing okay, but I'm very excited to make today's video because I've been doing a lot of research about Black hair movements from like the 21st century, particularly focusing on American topics. And I have like video things I want to show. But before we get into any of that, I just want to shout out to my hair, because now I feel like my middle part is like more pronounced, and I think it's because my hair has gotten heavier, or like it's gotten longer, which has pulled more of the weight down. So I feel like I'm really starting like a new chapter of my hair, because I don't know, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I can't believe that my hair used to just like stay up for so many years. My hair was literally just always staying up. Even like a year ago, I would always have like one that stays up, and now like everything is pretty much gravitationally pulling down. Also shout out to my outfit. I don't know, I saw this like material and I was like, this is, you know when you see something, it's kind of like almost like a bit hideous, or like the material was so jarring that I was like, I know I can make like a cute ass, because sometimes like the best things come from like really bizarre combinations and like material, and this material was really weird, but I got it sewn and I really like it. And I got this necklace the other day, so you know what I'm saying, I'm really feeling myself in my makeup. She's really feeling herself, so yes. But before we like even get into the topic, I want to show y'all my plant that I stole, you know what I'm saying? Because there was this plant, I don't know y'all remember the video, but there was this plant and someone really told me that plant was $102. It's like a very common plant in America. I forgot the name of the plant, but like here, I guess it's like, I don't know, you have to pay like some money to get it. And I was walking outside of a hotel, so I said, whoa, what do I look like not getting that plant?
I'm leaving here with something.
And they just had an abundance of free plants, so you know what I'm saying, I went and I got my own, and I want to show you the process or the progress of what it looks like now. Look at her, can you see? And like look at the roots. I'm gonna put her in a pot soon, but I'm just like really like, I feel like that's so symbolic for me. Sorry, I'm sweating. It's just really symbolic for me, like having this plant and seeing the growth it's had in that like short period of time. It just kind of reminds me about like my experience that I have here in Nigeria, and just like, even though you may not see growth like quickly, it's still like it's happening. So I really like that plant because it just feels really parallel with me and being back and stuff like that. I'm sorry you guys, I'm sweating so much because as always in my shitty fucking apartment, there's no electricity. We get about 5 hours of electricity a day, and NEPA, which is like the people who control the like lights or whatever, they don't be fucking with us. So you have to get my videos with me having sweat. Just know that before the sweat was beginning, I was looking very cute. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so today's video is really interesting for me because I want to talk about like things I've seen happen in culture that led people to the natural hair movement. And then with the natural hair movement, when it got to like its mainstream success, which often mainstream success means a watering down of. But when it hit mainstream success, I want to talk about the mistakes that I saw throughout it. This is gonna be like more like an educationally or like a historically educational cultural discussion. So before we get into any of that, I want to first talk about where we were leading up to this like new wave of natural hair movement. Let me just be clear. Black people have been wearing their hair now, like, yes, I understand that Black people have been wearing their hair natural before the 21st century. Yes, I know. But I feel like the movement and the marketing, the way that it was like done with brands and stuff like that, that's kind of more what I'm speaking to, and the ways in which like it shifted pop culture, mainstream culture, and like people just like my age demographic, right? If you're anywhere between like mid-20s, mid-30s, somewhere in that, or like early 20s, mid-30s, whatever, you may have like remembered some of these things in media. So I feel like in the 90s, 2000s, you know, for majority of us, we was probably perming our hair or relaxing it.
I looked at totally on mine. Hair so soft. Just for me. No light conditioning relaxer cream. Just for me.
Or having our hair in some natural styles like braids or whatever. And that's kind of, I think, what most people had. I feel like most people was not really wearing weaves in the 90s. Like you kind of had to be of a certain zhuzh, you know what I'm saying? Like Beyonce was wearing weaves in the 90s. Whitney Houston was wearing weaves in the 90s. Like those weaves, like you couldn't even tell it was like for real weaves, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't like really popular. But then around like the early 2000s with like the upcoming of like hip hop culture, if y'all was ever watching BET, like BET Uncut, BET, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the video girl vixens in that rise, they became like a really steady growth of like people wanting to wear weaves, and then also people perming their hair, and then like more texturate, like super severe and normalized like texturous comments and stuff like that, you know. And I feel like I want to just break down all the things that I saw that led to the demise of like our confidence that started the natural hair movement, because I feel like it took a lot of comments that people was just like, this isn't right.
No, they don't want to look like alpha cut like this.
And then that's how the natural hair movement kind of began. So the first point I want to talk about is like, we was really watching TV and hearing things like this.
See how inspired the panel is by looking at that?
Absolutely.
It's because it's aspirational and it's very difficult to look like that. Not every girl on the street can look like that, but every girl on the street can look like this.
You're, I feel, half African, half cowgirl. Looks like you're about to ride a giraffe. I think I'm not feeling it.
But what's not amazing is your appearance. Think a little bit more glamour as opposed to natural.
I can't unlearn that. I can't see Tyra not doing that no more. Like, I remember the amount of ample fucked up things that was so normalized on mainstream media talking about making fun of black women's hair. So that was just one of them things that was just so normalized as a burden, and seeing it as something that's like not glamorous. And this Tyra clip is like an example of that, right? Because I feel like there is always, still to this day, even with all of these things, there's still these discourses that kind of implies that you wearing your real hair is not as nice than wearing a weave or having it straight. Like, I feel like, because I remember when I had a weave, I always kind of felt like, oh, maybe natural hair is considered adolescent, because the only time you see a lot of people like playing around with different natural hairstyles is usually like when you're younger, because I feel like there's an expectation for like black non-men to go from like natural hair to like eventually perming their hair. I'm very curious about like what age you guys was when you either felt pressure to get a perm or did get a perm. Some people are getting perms even as babies and kids and toddlers and stuff, but I feel like this belief that having natural hair is really regular, like looking natural is really boring, like nothing kind of exciting, sexy, glamorous comes from natural hair.
Nobody walks around with nappy hair no more.
And then I feel like when the natural hair movement started, what ended up happening is like we decided that like, okay, yeah, like straight hair isn't the desirable thing, you know, we should just be able to be okay in ourselves. But the like mainstream twist on it was that like your natural hair by itself is definitely not enough, and you need like 50 million products, and you need to like do different kind of twist styles, and you need to have like a lot of things together before you even think about walking outside. Like, it also became like a time where a lot of people were giving like unsolicited advice about like how you should be styling your hair, and if somebody was to just have 4C hair that was clump forming and just like very thick and kinky, like you would get read. Like I feel like we just shifted the image of it being like straight hair to like it being kind of like this stereotypical like curly acceptable twist out that natural hair should be manipulated to be. So that was like the mainstream twist, was that we went from having hair that is straight to then like desiring curly. But ultimately, if the center of the natural hair movement is always centering people who have like looser hair textures versus having people who have kinky hair textures at the forefront, that's what's bound to happen. Second thing that I noticed, like the downfall of like mainstream natural hair movement, is like there's also just like blatant lying, you know. And when you like study commercials and like marketing, like yes, marketing in general, commercials in general, is like just selling you products off of a lie, you know. But when you use like famous black actresses, especially back in the day, who would be like, oh my god, like get this product, like I'm perming my hair, like this clip.
Hi, I'm Debbie Allen. I never thought I'd be relaxing my hair in front of so many people. Well, with Dark and Lovely Permanent Cream Relax, I don't mind. It's
Like, Debbie Allen, we know you did not have a perm, girl. Your hair texture is very loose. But like, it's selling this idea of like, if you also just get these things, you can look like me. And we still see people do these kind of lying things about their hair texture to this day.
Use an array of products. I do that, then we all must condition our hair, right? Part of my hair, don't forget the middle of your hair. And they have a 1, 2, 3, 4-step process. Tea tree shampoo. This is everything. Next one, which is the deep moisturizing shampoo. Now you're clean, but you're not done.
Mainstream movement put this like one-step fix-all kind of thing that it's like, you know, if you buy this oil cream or if you buy these things, like it can help grow. And as someone who has like grown this is probably the longest my hair has been in its natural state. No, it is definitely the longest my hair has been in its natural state. I feel like the thing that really just helps, like when we talk about hair, I think a lot of honest truth about how hair grows is down to your genetics. Drinking water, and then, you know, the things that I've learned in my own journey is like, okay, moisturizing my ends and like sleeping with, like, not having my hair out when I sleep, or like using like a silk pillowcase. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those were like the kind of things where I was like, okay, like that helps your hair maintain growth. But all of these like 60 product steps saying it's gonna guarantee you do this and this and this, like it's just so corny to me and very like 1990 like lying. But that just became like the norm, where a lot of YouTubers would just literally be lying about the products they're using. Like there was one YouTuber I remember in particular who I feel like she would always do her hair from like a blowout state, and in my opinion I feel like her hair was just permed the whole time, but it was always an expectation that from a blowout state only then you could do all these really cool natural products. But if your hair is natural, you should be able to do it from kinky. Like, let me see your real curl pattern, girl. I still to this day feel the heartbreak. Like I feel like we all do, because my mind just glosses over this, but I still have the heartbreak to this day of when fucking Shea Moisture did that commercial. To this day.
Like throw stuff in my hair, and then I'd just be walking and there'd be like little paper balls in my hair. I hated it because it's like, oh, I have this and people make fun of me for it. So right here.
It just gives us all the results that we need. It's kind of that go-to product.
I think a good hair day is the best kind of day. I feel like I have conquered the world.
I love my hair.
Everybody
gets love.
Why would they do that? Like, I get it, you want the coin, but at this point it's like, it makes me wonder, because I'm like, y'all's company was so rich when you was serving black people. Like black people, you know, Shea Moisture was not even cheap. That was always a coin. Like I felt like I always saved up money to get just one product. So I'm very confused by why like your black audience that was a very expensive product that y'all would sell, like why that wasn't enough. Why did you? And then you have this like really weird, you know, people who benefit from texturism speaking about when I was younger I was getting bullied. It's definitely giving like Mean Girls, who wasn't bullied by Regina King, and like the principal of the school raises his hand. Like I don't understand the sellout thing. I feel like people treat blackness like it's supposed to be like upgraded, you know, and I feel like it falls down heaviest black women, black non-binary people, because it's like we're the ones who have to always watch the things that we love like sell out altogether. Like how many times, this is a real question, how many times have y'all seen something that was supposed to be for black people and it just sells out and it loses its audience and it loses its judge and it loses its, like, you know what I'm saying, like the core people it's like supposed to be doing it for? But I feel like, I don't know, like where are the people who own Shea Moisture today? Like was it worth it? Like I feel like that was such a heartbreak for me, because it made me feel like a lot of the black products we're using isn't even black owned, but the few that it is like are so quick to like sell things for the come up. Do y'all remember in that interview with Oprah and like Chris Rock when he did Good Hair, and he was like, is that your real hair? And she was like, it's my real hair, honey, touch my hair. And it was like he was just like rubbing her hair to like see that it was real, and he was like, oh my god, like a black girl with her real hair, like how rare. Be grateful.
So I said, I'm gonna wear my own hair. You got a little extra piece right here, though.
I do not.
Whoa! I do not. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. See? Wow. Wow. Oh, I've never done that to a black woman.
Then now you want to have the requirements that she has to have pretty hair, and then you want it to be real. Like I just feel like it's really like, I don't know, I remember feeling like so much pressure that I had to like show that my hair could be like long in its like natural state or whatever. And like I would do all the twist outs just to like maintain the length. Like so many people, this is not a read, please, this is not a read, it's just truth. So many people, when they get their hair unbraided after having it in like its protective styles, like there's this desire to like want to wear your hair unbraided because you know that you have length, but like the symbolism of like, your hair is dirty, your hair has built up, you know what I'm saying? Because it hasn't seen like water, like it hasn't seen like, air in like a good minute, but like the desire to still like want to have it because like long hair and that like texture of it being kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It gives you clout, it gives you status, it gives you something like once again, just like this obsession with looser hair texture. And to this day, I still feel like we just went from like straight hair being the norm to like kind of stereotypically like 3B hair texture being the norm. But once again, if you're just changing the face, it's like, you remember in the early 2000s when like the Paris Hilton blonde hair white girl was like the thing, and then like 2010 they like put the brown hair white girl Angelina Jolie as like the thing. Like still the same kind of white girl, she just has a different hair texture. And I feel like that about the same thing with our community. Like we just change the face. Like if you never actually care about the people who struggle to love their hair, but you're like wanting everyone to run the same race, like all of it always feels like a rat race where we're just trying to keep up with being considered like acceptable. We do all these things, use all these products, use all these things just to feel like our hair like is looking good, because you just show one person as like the standard of beauty and everybody's gonna be chasing towards that. Like when we had our hair permed, like the standard of beauty was like straight hair, like looking like we just naturally have it growing out the scalp. Then suddenly it's curly, and like people are having texturizers just to have their hair as curly. Like texturizers became popular because having kinky hair like this is never going to be considered mainstream beauty. And if it does, it will be an anomaly, not the norm. And we all know that kinky clump forming hair is not considered like the norm. But there are so many people in the world who have really kinky clump forming hair and still to this day don't know how to take care of it because of the fact that we don't give truthful information out about like what it should be looking like. Like everyone is, I remember feeling like, oh, maybe it's because I don't know how to take care of my hair. Maybe it's because I don't know how to like do my hair, like that's why. And it's like, no, that's just the hair texture. Like I'm tired of all these freaking hairstylists that want to be like, oh my god, your hair can look like this to this. It's like, why is that transition so normalized within kinky hair? And that brings me to my last point of like the biggest mistake that I feel like they made, which is that they completely erased people who started the movement, which is kinky dark skin people who was like at the forefront of the movement, who was really creating YouTube videos so that you can actually learn. To this day, like I remember when Halise and Evelyn from like 2009 or 8 or something, they was making videos about how they take care of their kinky 4C hair. That was the first time I had ever seen like someone speak honestly and candidly about their hair texture and like what works for them. And like that was just kind of the thing of like being like, okay, like me having my hair in like 2 is cute, or me just having. Sorry y'all, like my video cut and I'm now in post, but I was just pointing out that a lot of these people were people who were actually speaking to those who have like hair that's underrepresented. And obviously it's been mainstreamed, it's been whitewashed, it's been lightwashed, word I'm coining. But yeah, so I'm curious to know for y'all, like what incidents did you feel like you saw growing up that made you want to go natural, or you feel like influenced the natural hair movement, other than the things that I spoke on? I know I didn't get to everything, there's obviously so much, but if you like this style of video, I will try and make another one, maybe going into more detail. So thanks for watching, have a great day, bye.